Factorio YouTubers have a lot of terrible ideas of things to do with Factorio, and today we're going to talk through this one. It's a Krastor 2 Deathworld Marathon tool-assisted speedrun, but it's still a crafting game, so there's a rock here, we're going to punch it, there's some loot around, we're going to hunt it, there's some iron ore, we're going to crunch it. Over here on the left is a list of instructions we are feeding into the tool-assisted speedrun, like the world's least environmentally friendly player piano. The game speed we might muck around with a bit because there's a bit of waiting and a bit of things we want to show in more detail, but we don't need all those options. The step planner is cool for building a TAS, less helpful now. Yeah, we're playing Krastor 2. We have a variety of helpful damaged ship parts around the place. We've got alien biomes, so there's a lot of coal rocks, there's different kinds of trees and all that kind of stuff. All default mod settings. We have a bunch of extra markup on these furnaces that we kind of don't need. If we were a precise tool-assisted speedrun, this would tell us exactly how much fuel we have and things like that. We're not actually that precise. We've got other things to worry about. We have these circles that indicate what we can reach and also what we can mine, and then objects that we can reach also get this little box. That can be helpful. And yeah, mostly just looks like a pretty normal Factorio start. We want all the coal rocks because they've got fuel and stone, and that's helpful. We want all the iron. Things about Krastor 2 smelting is the correct, air quotes, correct number of burner miners to stone furnaces is 2-to-1, and then as well as that, the recipes are batched. The furnaces will do nothing until you get 10 ore, and then it will take 16 seconds to process that, which is, yeah, has a couple of consequences later, but for the moment we're just doing a kind of greedy thing of, can we get all the iron? If we're short of coal or stone for expansion, then we'll go grab a rock, otherwise we're just going to continue grabbing iron because we need all the iron. We do also want some copper, so we set up a little bit of copper mining now, because the first of the Krastor 2 tech cards, instead of science packs, needs wood and a bit of copper, and we have the damaged ship assemblers and lab to just kind of kick that off early and roll through it, which is going to be helpful. Yeah, continue to get more coal rocks, continue to expand the iron mining. Everything is slow because marathon. Yeah, then anything that the tool-assisted speedrun selects will turn up over in the right. So we're now using the damaged ship assembler to make science packs, and yeah, the coal rocks. One of the things you'll notice about this coal rock is we run into range of a coal rock and then punch something else instead, and also that all of the coal rock yields whenever we grab a coal rock are suspiciously higher than the average coal yield we're told to expect in the window on the right. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but for a moment we've still got to just continue punching more iron because we want more iron. Yeah, get this damaged ship reactor here will power one assembler and the lab, and yeah, we're going to need more turbines to expand later, because one of the other things we don't have yet is the ability to make any steam power. That's something we have to research. One of the reasons why we are just massively lab speed limited. And yeah, continue to want all the iron. Yeah, we're doing a thing here where we are taking iron ore from one of these furnaces and putting it into another furnace, with the result that we want to get all of these furnaces running as soon as possible so that we can get all of the iron that we want as soon as possible. We'll change how that works in a bit, but at the moment we just want all the iron we can, so that's what we're doing. And yeah, this blue square will indicate what the tool-assisted speedrun is focusing on, even if it's not within range to grab immediately. And yeah, we'll see that for all of these coal rocks we are getting suspiciously more than the expected 10 coal, and that's because we are managing the order in which we are mining things so that when we come around to mining a coal rock, the random number generated gives us good coal yield. This is a thing a lot of Factorio tool-assisted speedruns remove. They normalize the amount of coal we get because they think it's not fun to have to worry about this, and they're right, it's kind of annoying. We get rid of the pistol, we don't need the pistol, thank you pistol, you did everything we asked, which was nothing, this is a Deathworld, we're going to need bigger guns than that. We also cleared out the wreck, there used to be some stuff in the wreck, we're going to use that as a coal buffer later, but not yet. And yeah, got a bunch of coal, continuing to expand the iron mining. continue to expand the copper, and then more coal rock manipulation. This is the reason why we run into range of multiple rocks and then often hit something instead of the coal rock if the coal rock wasn't going to give us enough coal the first time. And so I think we've got... No, we're done with that now, it's fine. We've got a lot of stone, so we're going to cook some of it. We'll use things for paths, I guess, maybe, might be helpful. And yeah, want to continue grabbing trees, want to continue grabbing coal rocks, because we just need to make a lot of basic tech cards. This next coal rock is, yeah, an example where we grab one piece of coal and then the coal rock, because that changes the yield of the coal rock to something that's a little more helpful. And yeah, then at this point, this assembler is working. I have 5 basic tech cards, and then in the time that it takes us to... Why are we not having the... Can we have the... Yeah, in the time that that red circle overlaps the assembler finishes one production cycle and we feed it more. So now we have 10 tech cards and we are on our way down to the lab where we move this power pole because it was kind of gross. We want to leave these tech cards as well, but we haven't actually finished them yet, so we're also going to spend that time to grab these coal rocks, and we still haven't finished the tech cards. So we grab this tree as well, and they finish when we are running away and we feed them to this lab. The upside of this lab having 16 tech cards is we don't need to go back there for quite a long while, which means we can just manage the amount of iron we're going to mine, manage the amount of copper, make sure that all these intermediates are processing, and yeah, not have to path down to the other lab. And is that not quite? It's not quite the total amount of iron we get. Yeah, we still have the problem that we are polluting almost all over the place, and the cloud is still spreading out. But we can't really have that much mining because we also don't have any decent weapon sources yet. We don't have any good combat tools yet, and we need to do quite a bit of research to get combat tools. So we're just going to kind of bide our time rather than expanding the iron too much more. We're going to use the stone that we made to just get around a bit faster. That ends up being like significantly more helpful than I thought it was. And yeah, for a short period we had one extra turbine that allowed us to power this other assembler, but this assembler isn't very good. Crafting speed 0.25, but if we unpower this, then it's enough to run a second lab, which is going to be pretty helpful because that will double our research speed, because we only otherwise had the free ship lab. And then yeah, we are approaching the total size of what I think we can get away with for our iron mining, which is 22 burner miners on iron, which is not a lot. But if we go much more than that, we will struggle into... we will run into serious defensive problems. Yeah, and we're actually doing a different thing with the iron now. We are instead of trying to get every lab fed at once, we are trying to balance the number... We are trying to balance the iron across all the furnaces so that... I wonder if we'll see it here. If we slow this... No, let's not slow it down. We want all of the furnaces to finish their production cycle at the same time so that we can go somewhere else. I think that, yeah, so we want all of them to finish so we can take all of the iron, go somewhere else, and be handcrafting things with that iron. And kind of trying to keep all these furnaces synchronized is going to be the next thing we try to do, because it means we can go elsewhere and cut trees, punch rocks, things like that. Grab a lot of trees. I think there's a part coming up where I realize that I would rather be punching coal rocks than trees, because the trees I don't necessarily need 200 wood yet. Like, it's a good thing to be doing with my time, but also they would be absorbing a whole lot of pollution, and I'd kind of rather they did that rather than... Yeah, I think these are the last trees we mine for a bit, and then we just focus on coal rocks, because coal rocks are a thing that I can do with engineer punching time that don't affect how much pollution is on the map. So we've got assemblers now. We can't actually afford to... Yeah, we've now got an assembler in the queue. The thing about assemblers is we also still don't have steam engines or boilers, so it's not just, hey, we can have an assembler. We need 4 turbines to be able to power one assembler, and then rather than just a lab, we need a lab and 10 turbines to be able to power the lab. So that's going to be a continued problem. This blue square is whatever the engineer is looking at, even if it's not close enough to be able to directly interact with. And yeah, more paths around the place to be able to move around. I realized that more of these stone bricks are actually going to be a cool, helpful thing that we're going to do. We're going to try and mine some more stone to try and balance out and synchronize those furnaces when they complete so we can get all the iron at the same time. And yeah, we've got enough fuel that we can leave everything fueled for a while and run off and collect other sources of stone that are further away. The basic tech cards, we're still just putting in the handcrafting queue if we don't have the other materials to keep our handcrafting queue busy. And yeah, punching things in various orders to try and manipulate the order and the exact time that the coal rock gets mined and getting more coal than we should. Nice little tricks. Yeah, and we're going to continue building this stone path so we can move around quickly, which I think ends up being a larger deal than I originally thought it was, which is nice. These wreck parts we can also mine and get stuff from and like manipulate their yields and with timing in the same way that we could manipulate coal rocks, which I didn't realize until like about this point in charting this run. We probably could have done a better job of getting the first couple of burner miners out. And yeah, we're still running around grabbing a bunch of coal rocks because we don't really have better things to do. And this is, I mean, this is still a pretty good use of engineer time to be punching things for 3 seconds and getting like 50 ore worth of stuff out of a rock. It's pretty useful, even though we aren't blocked on stone. We don't really need to worry about stone, but you know, more coal is nice. Yeah, keep everything fueled, keep all the assemblers running. This section down here, yeah, we're running this assembler at the moment because we need 10 turbines to be able to power the next lab, which is in the queue. We don't have that many turbines, but we've got enough turbines to power this assembler. So for a short period, we power that assembler, but when this lab turns up in the craft queue, we unpower that assembler so that we have enough power for this lab. And everything is still green power, and things are, you know, there's only just enough electricity there. And then I think we do a little bit of a job here manipulating which of these wreck parts we mine in which order to get decent drops from them. But also we're just kind of running out of things to do, and I kind of wanted this area tidied, and there aren't all that many coal rocks around, so we just spend a little bit of time cleaning the area around the wreck, you know, why not? And then I think I decided we're going to go down here and grab some more stone, even though stone is not really the thing we need. Mostly we need more iron and more copper and more research, but we also kind of can't really get away with expanding that much either. Oh well. Yeah, so we are now into the position of... Yeah, this little path leads us to a place in the middle where we can loot all of the iron furnaces at once, and we are approaching the place of being able to make our own steam engines, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, we're back into powering this assembler while we are still working on having enough turbines to power the next lab. I think there's another trick we do here as well regarding lab power. Yeah, we get better at manipulating the drops from those ship parts. We have way more stone than we need, and we're just making useful paths around the place. Some of these shipwrecks give us useful things. I think it's this lab here. Yeah, when we place this lab, this assembler is no longer running because we don't have the power grid to run these labs and this assembler at the same time. So now the turbines that we are making will allow us to repower this second assembler, which is still a thing I'm happy with because we're still just mostly worried about the time it takes to get all this research done, because we need to go, you know, steam engine, and then we can get some amount of military. The thing we are still somewhat worried about is not having turrets yet, and not even being able to research turrets yet. But yeah, this is, you know, that's as much iron as we can have. Continue to punch more rocks, continue to punch more rocks, continue to punch these rocks. A lot of this is just like how long can I afford to be away before I need to come back and refeed either the labs or the assemblers. We've got burner inserters in here so that we don't need to worry particularly much about feeding those labs. The assemblers will take care of it, and then also build up extra packs in the assemblers because there aren't quite enough labs to be fully using those things. It's fine. Punch some more coal rocks. Yeah, there are some coal rocks over here. There are some coal rocks hidden in these forests. We're going to get around to making some guns, but yeah, it's still sketchy. We can't take any real fights with these guns yet because we still don't have turrets. We will not be able to defend against large attack waves, and we won't be able to push any of those bases, but you know, these stone paths are helping us get from one place to the next, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so loading from a save there, sometimes when we're mucking around with the game speed in the editor mode, we can end up desynchronized by a couple of frames, which would be a bigger deal in a more precise tool-assisted speedrun. We're not that precise, so it doesn't really matter, except for the coal rocks, which we're still managing, and then also combat, because it turns out that there's a couple of biters down here who are getting ready to attack us. So maybe we should craft some ammunition. Yeah, there we go. And we're accidentally going to deliberately get close enough to provoke these biters that are grouping in the attack path. And yeah, shotgun blast kills 4 biters, and the Krastor doesn't automatically lock on with a submachine gun. We had to aim all of those, but we're also a tool-assisted speedrun, so all of our bullets hit, and we killed all 8 biters that were kind of milling around waiting to attack us. They're still going to attack us, it's just 8 biters we don't have to deal with later. And yeah, grab all the coal rocks, continue to manipulate the coal rock yield RNG. We have way more stone than we know what to do with, but whatever. Yeah, drop the rest of the turbines that we built, continue preparing for the steam engines that we're about to have but don't have yet. Make sure all the assemblers are running, grab all the iron that's built up, and yeah, try and figure out what else we're going to do with our time. We're going to wander over here and punch these coal rocks as well. There's a couple of coal rocks, a couple of regular rocks, a couple of fish, which we don't need yet, but maybe we will, who knows, whatever. And yeah, it looks like we're floating a whole pile of labs and iron and other things that we could better utilize. Mostly we are stockpiling those for the transition into the steam engine. We are about to unlock a technology which will give us a lot more power grid, and we want to be able to immediately drop labs and make those things useful as soon as we do that. So, I mean, still trees are going to be useful. I think I was coming over here mostly for these coal rocks, you know, whatever. And also to put a path over here that we will be using to get to places quickly later. And yeah, make the other labs we want, grab all the materials, set up what will be a somewhat long-term science production over here. So all of these guys, the labs have the tech cards they need, the assemblers have the ingredients they need, they just don't have the power grid they need yet because we haven't connected them, because we haven't even built the power grid. But we've got the tech, the steam engines are in the handcrafting queue, and more or less as soon as we finish crafting the second steam engine, that power pole goes in, and now we have basically doubled the lab count we have. So we were never really floating that much iron, we were just blocked by techs. So that's nice. Keep everything running, make all the cards, make all the beams. Yeah, this is one of the bits where it was also like, what do we even do now? There aren't coal rocks to grab. I guess trees could be useful. I guess we'll head down here and grab some stone, because we still can't expand because we don't have electric mining drills or turrets. We don't have the things we would need to build a nice factory. Make sure that, yeah, come back and make sure that all the assemblers have all the things they need. Sometimes it is easy to figure out what to do. Like, we've got a path down to the power grid, otherwise we would lose the power grid, so that's an easy decision to make. These assemblers need the inserters between them, and we've now made the inserters, so we can drop those inserters in there and give the assemblers more ingredients. And then we've also got to head over to the copper pretty urgently. This is another easy decision, because otherwise we would lose most of the base. And again, most of these bullets are hitting biters. We are being pretty accurate here because we are a tool-assisted speedrun. That stuff is pretty good. Feels kind of weird to just be like walking in a little loop around the base and not really getting anything done, but also we were still waiting on the steam engines to finish handcrafting. So as soon as, yeah, we're down here extending that power pretty much as soon as the steam engines are done, but we also don't have the materials we need to extend the labs in the way we want to yet either. So yeah, make sure everything's fueled, run over the stone paths because that's nice and fast, drop the labs, put cards in them immediately. We don't have the inserters we need to connect the two labs to each other, so we're just going to come over here and punch the coal rocks until we do that as well. This one assembler to 4 labs ratio is kind of okay for the 30-second ticks we're doing, and yeah, that's what we have at the moment. yeah, we want a big factory, we just can't have one. We've still got to continue working through the red science that will unlock the gun turret, that will unlock the electric mining drill, that will unlock logistics for regular inserters. Yeah, there's just a lot to do, and it's a mess, and we are already polluting these two other bases. That, yeah, the nests in here is the one that sent the big attack wave, and that attack wave is why I don't think I want more than this many iron miners, even though that is a sad and disappointing number, because attack waves larger than this one that we dealt with in the copper would be even worse without turrets. So yeah, so that's more or less where we are at the moment. Yeah, like 26 minutes in, and we don't have any electric mining drills, and we don't have turrets, and pretty regular disappointing Deathworld Marathon things. Oh well. There are going to be a lot of links in the description for this video, because there are a lot of mods and tool-assisted speedrun tools and things like that that other people have built that have made this possible. I think I'm also going to put a save of the, like, not this state, but the beginning state with the mod set and the mod settings, which are all default, and the seed and things like that at the, yeah, like right at the beginning, so people can have a go at this themselves and see. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep up with a tool-assisted speedrun. I can't even follow what it's doing in real time, but like, see the kind of problems we're working with. And yeah, as we continue this and attempt to grow this into a slightly more functional factory, several of these stone paths are configured in places that will expand to nicely cover smelting later. We have some fun plans for that. It'll be a mess. It'll continue to be a mess. I think that's more or less what people should probably expect from this. Yeah.